What's up, family? I'm Andre Romance, and I'm jumping into another one. Man, I just want to do some straight talk today. I want to do some straight talk because straight talk is needed in your self-growth. It's like sometimes we get so caught up in moving to the next level, trying to better ourselves, that we skip over these conversations that we need to have about what's really going on. And some people, that they can see you growing and they won't know like what's fueling this need for change. Because some people, they just don't get it. They just hop out of bed and they just living their life. They really don't think twice about like what's really going on in society, or what it is that you're tired of seeing, what it is you're tired of experiencing. And it takes you to be tired of, you know, all of this stuff in order to make it to the next level. You got to reach a point where you tired, man. You fed up with the situations that you're dealing with on a daily basis, and that's what causes this self-growth to kick in. It's like you reach a point where you take full responsibility of yourself and and your actions, and you recognize that if anything is going to change, it's going to have to be you. If you're going to yield to better results, you're going to have to do something different, something that you haven't done yet. And it takes you to step outside of the box of what you used to doing, what you're comfortable doing. Now, change is not by any means a comfortable transition. It's not. Because change challenges your mental. Like you have to accept mentally that you're going to change, whether it's going to be for the good or the bad. But the overall is that you're going to change, right? And it's how you look at this change that's going to happen. Now your intent is to change for the better, but in some cases your situations get a little worse than what they were before. And this is like, I think the reason why this happens is because you got to backtrack a little bit to correct some things that you set forth for yourself already. And so that caused you to take a step back a little bit. You're going to go through some things once you start researching that you're going to have a hard time accepting. Things that you didn't realize were true. You're going to have a struggle with accepting. And this is where you hit that back step, you know? But that's okay. When you hit that back step, you got to keep on driving. You got to keep on pushing through. Because it'll make more sense. The more knowledge you get, the more knowledge you gain, the more confusing things are going to seem. Okay? I want to warn y'all about that. You're going to get a little confused about some things, right? Because you're going to be coming into some newfound information that you never experienced before. But it's going to make sense. Don't get discouraged. And through it all, you have to embrace that it's time to change. It's time to elevate. It's time to go to the next level. You can't be afraid of that. You cannot be afraid to step outside of your box. We've been living in our comfort zone our whole lives, and where has it got us? Where have it got you? What has getting up every day and working your 9 to 5, being a good Samaritan, paying your taxes, you know, paying your car insurance, what has that gotten you? What has it done for you? Making somebody else rich, What has it done for you? At some point, you got to do your own thing. You got to live for yourself. Do you feel like you're really living for yourself? Do you really feel like you're living in a content life? Or do you feel like you're living in a satisfied life? These two things, man, they play a huge difference in your life. But it's up to you to decide which one you want to live, how you want to live. You want to be satisfied with life, or you just want to be content? Me, I don't want to be content. I don't want to wake up every day and do the same cycle over and over and over again. So I'm working towards my next step. I'm doing things I've never done before. I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning so I can reset my mind. And I'll go back to sleep for a few minutes, a couple hours, just so that I'm sleeping in a different condition than I was when I went to sleep initially. There's a whole bunch of different things that happens to the body once you start to switch up your schedule. You start to do things differently. Take, for instance, your workout. You can have a curriculum that you follow every day on your workout. And if you never change that workout, this is what your muscle tone is doing. It's going to go up, it's going to reach this level here, and then it's going to cap off, right? It's going to stay just like this, all the way through. That's with the same workout regimen. What some people don't realize is that when you get comfortable, you just maintain that status. You don't elevate. You just maintain where you at. In order to get to another growth spurt, you got to change it. You got to switch it up. It's up to you to figure out what your next workout gonna be. You got to keep your mind guessing what's really happening, and you're gonna continue to skyrocket. You're gonna be elevated beyond what you can imagine if you continue to change up your regimen. That's why it's so important for you to embrace change, because in order to grow, you have to change. You got to get past the game banging stage where you feel like you want to rep your set and do all this craziness, you know, and wild out on the violent level. You got to get past that. You got to get past the level where you chasing after the men and the women. You know what I'm saying? Where you out doing your thing, where you be up in the club getting drunk, and you be throwing them back. So you be throwing so many of them back that you don't even remember half the night. You got to get beyond that point in your life where you yielding to a substance to make you happy or to make you feel normal. Now, it's okay to have your occasions where you want to drink or where you want to smoke. But if that be the type of person that you are, don't let it consume you to a point to where it's your everyday regimen. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you do every day, and that adds to your character. So this is like you in real life, and without it, you can't even function. Don't get to that point, y'all. Don't get to that point where you're content with life. You got to push forward, and you got to see something greater for yourself. You got to want that change. You got to embrace that change. And when change starts to happen, don't feel scared of it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Understand why it's important to experience this change that you're experiencing, this self-growth that you're after. It should be on a daily regimen. Your daily regimen should be self-growth and how you're gonna change up what you did yesterday. How are you gonna fine tweak your the things that you're doing to better yourself? How are we gonna do it? How are we gonna get out of this comfortable lifestyle that we call life? But we're killing ourselves. How are we gonna get out of this comfortable fast eating that we've been doing? That's been killing us for years. That's causing diabetes. that's causing cancer. How are we going to counteract these things? What do we need to change about our diets? What do we need to change about what we look at on TV? What do we have to change about what we listen to in our headphones? These are the type of things that I want y'all to recognize, understand. And it plays a huge part, even how you talk. Do you curse on the daily? Do you curse just because it just feel like the right words to use in a sentence? Or do you curse because there's a logical reason why you need to elevate your level of attitude or a level of excitement to a point where you got to use certain words? Start looking at these things, and change has to happen with them in order for you to get to your next step. I understand that a lot of y'all are comfortable. A lot of us grew up in the hood. We don't want to change. We want to be that thug. We want to be the toughest man on the block. We want to be the face of the hood. You know what I'm saying? We want to prove that we got street cred. We want to prove that we got respect in the streets. And violence is not how you get respect. That's honestly not the way you get respect. Handling your business is how you get respect. Showing that you can commit to something that's beyond what you would normally do. You know what I'm saying? Things that you aren't supposed to be able to do coming out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like moving out of the hood, moving away from where they contaminating the water at. I mean, this ain't very many places where you can go where they're not messing with the water and the food and stuff like that. But the idea of trying to get to a better place where you can choose what you want to consume. You know what I'm saying? You could choose what you want to look at every day or how you feel. You get to choose these things once you start changing how you think mentally, changing the things that you are attracted to. You know, this even goes back to dating. Sometimes you got to change the person, the type of people that you're interested in. You know what I'm saying? For my women out there, man, my sisters, my queens. Some of y'all got to change the type of men that y'all are chasing after. You got to change that appetite. Because some of these men, they ain't been raised right. They haven't been raised right. And you can only look for so much to happen with a person that's stuck in the one-minded lifestyle. The ones that think like, I was raised in the hood, I'm gonna die in the hood. I don't know about them. There's hope for everybody. But you might want to change the outlook. You might want to change how you selecting the people that you want to be in your life. This is across the scale, overall across the scale. My men, you want a queen, but you chasing thoughts. My dad used to always say, you can't make a hoe a housewife. And I believe that. And ain't no sugarcoating it. I believe it to the T. You cannot do it. You can't take a woman that's chasing after sexual pleasures and make her into a housewife. She has to change for herself. Now you can find a woman that used to be on that thought stuff, but she vibing at a whole nother frequency now because she wants something better for herself. But you cannot take a woman who is in that process already, that's living that lifestyle already, and decide you're gonna change it. You can't make nobody change. And then you gotta pick people according to where you are in your life. Some people, they're not gonna be vibing on the same wavelength that you vibing on. So you gotta put people in your life that are vibing on that level. Don't reach down and get somebody that you gotta pick and clean up. That's a lot of stress on yourself. Don't do it. There's a lot of people out there that's carrying around baggage, it's cool to be friends with them and help them out. You ain't gotta date them in order to help them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying leave our struggling single mothers and all that, and single fathers. I'm not saying leave them, but you ain't gotta date them in order to help them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in this life, we've been taught that in order to vibe and rock with people, even the adults, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta have a sexual attachment to them in order to do something for them. It ain't even gotta be like that. You can have friends, y'all. The bottom line is it's time to embrace change. This is for my brothers and sisters too, man. It don't matter how old you are, cause there's some old heads out there too that's still thugging, that's still out there chasing the fees. You know what I'm saying? It's time to change, y'all. It's time to change. It's time to grow up. It's time to walk in our callings. It's just time, y'all. It's time to start taking care of our bodies. It's time to get rid of this white sugar, man. It's time to get rid of man, the diet that we messing around with, man. It's no good. It's time to get rid of fast food in general, and that can come far-fetched. It's time to start eating raw vegetables, y'all. Like, no additives. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get plant-based. Start eating plant-based food. Nobody said change is gonna be easy, but change gotta happen in order for us to grow. And so I am trying to get us on the same page. And I know it's not gonna be easy. It could be easy, but a lot of people, they just look at these videos and they just click past to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not entertaining to them. This happens throughout the scale. I watch I'm looking at who look at my videos. I watch on all my medias who's watching my videos. And I'm able to see how long people actually look at the videos. And because the videos ain't entertaining, people won't sit and look. And it baffles me how much people don't care about their life, that they would click and click off and end up watching some stuff on how to please their husbands or how to please their boyfriends sexually, you know, rather than watch how you can better your life, or watch like what the water is doing to your body. Learn about how to heal your body spiritually. Learn how to become your higher self, how to become a greater you. All of these things all of this knowledge I be dropping in these videos, and people click off of it because it's not entertaining. Well, I'm here to tell y'all, I'm not here for y'all entertainment. I'm not here to be y'all friend. The messages that I'm putting out is to better your life. It's so you can have something more than you have right now. It's to get you to think outside of what you was raised up like. Because you got to understand, us in America, is especially a great population of us in America are of mixed ethnicities, right? We have a mixed ethnical background, meaning that our people were brought over here, stolen, raped, impregnated by people of other ethnic backgrounds, and thrown in chains and forced to work and do things that we wouldn't normally doing. And then we have the backlash of now being somewhat free in the society that that is not part of our original culture. So with this being said, we have gravitated to a lifestyle that we know nothing about. and we're not being taught how to maintain this lifestyle on the comfortable, on the important level. You know what I'm saying? Like, the things that we attract to, the ways that we apply life aren't the greatest. We've been thrown into the ghettos, right? We've been thrown into a segregated community, should I say, of like-minded people that are teaching each other that don't have knowledge of what the real is, what the truth is. Take, for example, and this is just an example, I'm not taking a stab at religion, but take this for example. Where we came from, where our base root is from, is Africa. We have, as Africans, been passed down the idea that we need to survive, right? We have to survive. And in order to survive back in them times, surviving was a means of being obedient, right? Listening to the slave master. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. So our means of survival was saying, I need to yield to this higher being. This person is above me, and I need to yield to it, right? Then also you have the mother of her children, right? Slave mother of her children that's giving birth to bright children that the slave master is seeing that he gonna make good money off of, or he gonna gain good profit off of. Well, the mother don't want to give up her child, so she downgrades what her son is. She puts down what her son is in front of her son. And so her son grows up feeling like his mother don't care about him. He's not good enough. But the mother, she's just trying to protect her son. She's chasing after the greater good so her son doesn't get sold or killed or anything like that, because the slave master is got an eye out for this guy. Okay? She says stuff like, "Oh, you so stupid. Nobody gonna want you. You ain't never gonna be nothing in life." She says these things to be heard by the slave master, to take her son off of the radar. But what her son feels is, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of anything. This is the mentality that we have in the hoods, in the ghettos, in the traps. We have adopted this behavior, and we have been passed down this behavior in our generations. And so now that we are in a place where we are not physically encapsulated by a slave master, a slave owner, we have to break out of that mentality. We have to change how we're thinking. Now, granted, nobody really handed us the right information, because like I was saying before, we learned a different language, right? When slaves got here, they learned a different language. Along with this language, they received somebody else's religion, right? That we didn't receive our own religion. We received the religion that was written out from Greek and Latin. Okay? These are kings and queens that came together and decided which books they wanted to make a bigger book out of. right? So they have all of these smaller books that go together, that created these Bibles, these instructions, if you will. Okay, so we have this huge group of stories, some of which have facts in them, some of which are just parables, some of which are just stories for you to get an understanding of life from and learn something. And they thrown them all in together. Now, how do you weed out the fiction from the non-fiction when you're dealing with a bunch of different authors? These are hundreds of authors that came together over a period of time to end up in one book, all from different times, all from different perspectives, all from different ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? You have, and it's not highlighted who is who. You know what I'm saying? You have to go and actually do the research and find out, like, from a genealogical level, which group is what. You know what I'm saying? And in some area you are confused of who God's kids are, who is God's people, like, who are they speaking to in this day and time? Who are we, you know, according to these Bibles? It doesn't define individuals based on the races that we are going by today, like white, black, or Chinese. And it doesn't highlight the people according to their ethnical background like that. So we have a large variety of people trying to squeeze themselves into these stories that were told by other cultures that we have nothing to do with. And then on top of that, we have all of these different beliefs that came together to make one belief. And then there was things that were kept, and there was things that were thrown out just to make the balance, just to make a balance. Can more than one person be wrong? Yes. So if more than one person could be wrong, then more than one person could be right too, right? That's the thing I'm getting at. We as a whole have to reconnect with what our foundation was. What was our foundation? Granted, we have these religions that we go by today. What is our foundation? Where did we get stolen away from? What did we believe back before America? These are the things that we need to start researching. What was the structure of the man and the woman? How did they operate with each other? How was the exchange of communications? Was it the man over woman? Was it the woman over man? Questions we need to ask. Who came first? Did the man come first, or was it the womb before the man? These are things we have to understand. Why is the man dominant, but the women are treated like, kind of like property? Where's the equality? Because you go half and half on the baby, right? You got a man and a woman. You go half and half on the baby. Why is one primary over the other? Why is one more dominant than the other? Why are they not equal? This is just my questions. This is all based in religion is teaching us this. This religion is of this American culture, from which we've seen a lot of, and we understand very well what it's doing to us. We understand that when they freed the slaves, that they did not restore the slaves. Understand that when they put us into these ghettos, that these ghettos were set up to do the same thing that slavery was doing. Take the men out of the homes. Jail systems, Jim Crow law. All of these things are still happening to keep us enslaved. But it is not just for the black man. This is on a greater scale than what we have been taught about. Because for all we know, it's just been slavery in America. And we're trying to break out of that mentality. We still have people that are thinking in that mentality that I gotta follow the rules. I gotta be this type of way, or I gotta be that type of way, and I gotta fit into this category. I gotta fit in, or I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna be successful. Well, who created success? Who told us that success was about making money? That in order to be successful, you got to graduate from high school and graduate from college, and you got to be a good follower. You got to be able to learn everything that this group of people are telling you that is important information. You got to learn this in order to be successful. But are we successful? I'm gonna ask the people that have bachelors, are they successful? Are you successful with the knowledge that you learned in college? Let's go even one lower. Let's go one lower. High school diplomas. Are you successful with the information that you learned in high school? With just the stuff that they've been teaching you? Because remember, you don't get time back. You don't get none of the time back that you put in, ever. You're never getting it back. So all of this time that you utilized to learn everything that these people have been teaching you your whole life, are you successful? Are you a millionaire? Are you living lavish? See, we have this idea that success is living lavish. Success is being a millionaire. Success is gauged by your bank account. But it's beyond that. Success is health. Success is when you can say that you don't have nothing going on physically with yourself. That you're in your right mind mentally. That you're taking care of your children and you're teaching them what they should know. That's success. When you can say you're in love with somebody and they care about you as much as you care about them, that's success. When you can wake up and you feel happy to be alive, that's success. I want y'all to hear me, man. I want y'all to feel where I'm going with this. We have been taught so much of what is not what it is. A lot of what we was taught is not what it is. Your focus yields time, right? Whatever you put your focus into, that's time that's gone. Time going away. Like me making this video right now. This is time that I'll never get back. But I'm choosing to use it to educate. I'm choosing to use my time to uplift my brothers and my sisters. Because I understand and I see it. We are living in a time lapse. We are living in a cycle that's never ending. And when we decide to wake up, when we decide that enough is enough, then our people will start to elevate. Change will come, and change will be much appreciated. It will be handled in the right care and in the right manner. This is what I'm trying to get us to. We have to figure out what our culture is. I know you hear a lot of times, you hear black people say a lot, we don't have a culture. Because we live in America. We're from America. We're like the only race in this country that don't have a culture. And when hip hop is not our culture, you can't put that on us. Hip hop is something that we are good at. It's not our culture. It's something that was designed to keep us down. Hip hop talks about the struggles that we inherited from slavery after slavery was emancipated. Hip hop is the struggle of what the black culture is going through. And it has changed dramatically. It's changed dramatically. It started with drugs and girls and talking about women, and then it elevated up a little bit. We start to move into a place where we start to make a little money, so we start rapping about money and cars and more hoes and more drugs. And then we get a little further down, now we're rapping about even more drugs. We're still rapping about how our people are tearing each other down. And we don't even know why. We don't know why we're tearing ourselves down. Why are we tearing down our communities? Why is it that every time we protest, we tear up our own stores? Why do we do that? We tear up our own peoples. We fight amongst ourselves about things that we don't own. That things that are not ours. Things that did not come from our culture. Things that did not come from our roots. We have to reconnect with our roots. Let's stop adapting to this lifestyle that was given to us. Like I said, when slavery was emancipated, we did not get restored. We were not restored to a degree that we could be successful today with the mindset that we have. And we have to get to a point where we can, as a whole, run our own government, establish our own country. Hear me. Once you start thinking outside the box, you can't go back. You can't go back. Me, I'm afloat at school because there's somewhat of a benefit for me. It's not my key out of the hood. I know that it's not my key out of the situations that I'm in. I'm not using it to gauge my level of success. I know success is within self. Just me waking up today and being able to breathe on my own, that's success. I'm happy for that. And I'm using this time, man. I'm using this time to reach out to my family. Y'all, all my family, all the people watching, y'all family, no matter what your race is, if you're in this country, if you're in this world, we're family. But let's be clear, we're all dealing with the same enemy. We're all dealing with the same enemy, that this flesh is priority over spirit. That life is all about fulfilling what the flesh wants. This is our everyday struggle and battle. There's a great difference between what the flesh wants and what the flesh needs. And what the flesh needs is to survive in a healthy manner, free of disease, free of pain. But the things that we do on a daily basis to live, that we feel like is needed in order for us to live a successful life, is pain. Waking up every day and working dang near half your day away. That's painful, right? If you live in Hawaii, you get 2 and 3 jobs just so you can live, just so you can make it. That's painful. It's even more painful for the kids that we are not raising, because we're out away trying to make money to provide for our families. We're away from the kids. We're not teaching the kids. So who is teaching our kids? Is it somebody that's like-minded, that's thinking how we think? Or is it somebody that's living by the structure of this culture? This culture that does not belong to us. This culture that you got to make so many hours in order to make so much money. This culture that's telling us that you can't be successful unless you follow these rules. Unless you yield to these guidelines. It's time to change, y'all. It's time to change. It's time out for the gang banging. If we're not building up our communities, then we don't need to have no say-so in it. If we are not out there putting the work in, we don't have a vote. Understand this. Just like they say, if you don't vote for a president, you have no opinion about what the president does. This is just an example. Not that it would matter anyway, because they're all on the same team in the end. But if you do not put action in, you don't have a voice. And if you ain't got a voice, why are you still alive? My goal is to get y'all there. To get you thinking in the right direction. What are you doing with your life? What are you spending your time on? How are you maintaining your flesh? How are you going about gaining this abundant life that you want? Are you chasing clout on social media? Or are you building up somebody who's chasing clout? A lot of these things have answers to them, right? But if nobody has the answers, how could they teach you? If they was raised the same way that you were raised, how can they teach you if they're not out getting the answers? And likewise, you have kids. If you have kids, how can you teach them to be successful and you was raised by somebody that came out of slavery? You was raised by somebody that had this mind frame that we got to play this game according to American life, because that's all we know. Well, the information is out there, y'all. The information is out there. We have to go out and get it. We have to. Nobody gonna do it for us. We got to start getting out here and doing what we need to do. This is my message today. I love y'all. Y'all keep me uplifted. I'm gonna keep y'all up. And I'm out of this thing.